Serenity, you rescued me from the storms I used to chase. I found your voice in quiet waves. In stillness I found grace. No more chains and no more plea. I am who I'm meant to be. At last I breathe serenity.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We're back for another week, and so far right now I am unsupervised. So we're going to have some fun to get started. But as you know, on Friday night, we always try to cover the quick crypto stuff, and then we dive into the crazy topic. And tonight's topic is the echoes of a false reality. Now, what does that even mean? Well, all throughout history, we have been plagued by false realities. The earth is flat. People can't fly. Can't go to the moon. There's no such thing as digital currency. I mean, time and time again, there were all these certainties until they weren't. So the question is, what are the certainties today that we believe that will not be here tomorrow? That's what we're going to dive in today. But of course, as always, hey, mi casa is su casa. So kick back, relax, leave your shoes at the door, pour yourself a drink. Better yet, make it two. It could get a little wild. Snacks, vapes, chips, whatever you got, kick back, relax, let's have some fun. So who we got joining us tonight? We got Rosalind. Rosalind! Thank God it's Friday with the duck. I love the duck. Yes, Rosalind is one of the founders of Project Duck Depression, a foundation I wholeheartedly support. In fact, I even sent over a t-shirt design today, Rose, so love to hear your thoughts on that. I don't know if we can share that, but it's like, I really know I want a shirt. Sonic Siren, yes! Yes, Sonic Siren is the man behind all the music here on Down Home Crypto. He did the intro and he does the outro song. So thank you, Sonic. Good to have you, buddy. And Relevant Nexus, my man with a plan who has had a challenging day, but he's still going to join us and have a little bit of fun. And of course, it's not a party without Wild Angel. Love it, Rose. Happy Friday! Friday! I agree. Uh-oh. Supervision's here. Mom's here. Hi, Mom! I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was that guy. I swear. It totally wasn't me. And 007, yeah. And Jason, good to have you, Jason. Wheel of Time spotted. Good man. You get a gold star right there. Jason, you are my new best friend, buddy. The fact that you can pick out the Wheel of Time, I love Jordan. So, oh, hey, look. I'm not alone anymore.
Hello.
Alpha, how you doing, buddy?
I made it. I'm doing good.
You made
doing
it?
Good. My Netflix been a bit of a problem tonight for some reason. I guess that's
I've
just
noticed
ISP
that.
issues at this point. Because I mean, my speed tests say everything is fine, but then it's like just randomly cuts out. I'm just like, what? What?
Yes, Jordan spotted in the wild. If you guys don't realize, yes, Lord of Chaos, A Gathering Storm. I'm a big Jordan fan. In fact, my children are named after two characters in the Wheel of Time series. Egwene is my youngest daughter's middle name, and Matron is my youngest son's middle name. So, yes, they are absolutely part of our lives. So, hi, Rose. So, Alpha, how has your week been, buddy?
My week's been good. It has been rather busy, very, very busy. As I've been helping some people set up some Discord servers, and let's just say I took over a Discord server that had 10,000 people in, but the Discord server was basically just left to rot for months. So there was like probably 9,000 bots, in other words, and it's like I cleared out 4,000 of them, but I just got tired at that point because I spent like 3 hours just removing bots. I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I am absolutely done at this point. I'm just like, because none of the tools I'm using can work fast enough. Like I will use Discord's built-in features and maybe it takes out 600 people at a time. I'm just like, and it doesn't do it immediately. It takes like 5 minutes for it to remove 600 people. Then I have to wait another 5 minutes, do it again. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done.
Wash, rinse, repeat, then. Sounds about right, yeah. And that makes it even harder, especially with today's technology, to keep those bots and the AI and all that out of there, because they're dominating. So I got to say, Alpha, thank you so much, and Sai and all the other moderators Down Home Crypto for keeping us safe, because luckily we are not plagued with the bots in the Down Home Crypto Discord. So thank you guys.
No, we are not.
Appreciate
We
it
are
for your hard work.
definitely not.
That's right.
It's
Only real
really
people.
nice like that. Yeah. We don't get a bunch of those people joining and impersonating either. It's like I think once, maybe every 2 weeks or so, we'll have like
Oh, yeah.
someone impersonating you or me or Sai. And it's just like, it's one person. Just ban and off we go on our merry way.
Get out of here. Exactly. Okay, so let's get this party started. And yes, we have an IRO friend. So looks like Jason is actually a friend of someone that Wild Angel works with, a coworker.
Oh, cool.
So cool, Jason, man, great to have you with us, buddy. This is what we do Friday nights, every Friday. We start the crypto world, then we go into the crazy world. So I hope you got your tinfoil hat ready because it's likely to get pretty wild. We don't know.
It's always wild. It's always wild. You know, sometimes
Exactly.
even the crypto talk is wild.
It can get that way sometimes. And so let's start on something simple. Now, as you guys know, I love to share the free to earn opportunities, and I've shared several of those over the last year. Now, one of them I haven't been watching as closely, so I'm bad. My bad. I take full accountability here. Is NodePay. Now, I've been running this passively for months and months. What I didn't realize is they just modified and changed it to where they actually have signals now. So even though I've earned all the points and stuff, unless I'm operating within the signals platform, then I'm not going to get my airdrop for those particular seasons, is how it reads. I'm still trying to dig into the fine technical details of it. Signals are basically 5 questions, and they're basically like a survey. And so every day you go in, you answer 5 very simple questions on the survey. And if we go into signals about vote, let's take a look here real quick. It's like, do you think zero knowledge or ZK technology will become the leading standard for privacy and scalability in Web3? So these are one of the questions that says yes, no, or maybe. And that's pretty much it. And you got to do this 5 times a day for 5 days continuous. On top of, you have to hold 1,000 node coins to get the bronze status. So I'm going to give you a cheat sheet here. Here we go. So I pulled this off their Discord because I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I haven't gotten in my airdrop. So your unranked is when you start with 0 points. You can view and engage signals daily. However, there are no rewards. Now, bronze is a 5-day streak plus hold 1,000 node coins to earn 100 signal points daily up to 140 points with streak. Season earnings cap of 500 node coins. Then you go to silver. If you want to stake 5,000, you can immediately jump to it, or you do a 14-day streak. Gold is 2 approvals, signal ideas, or 10,000 node coins. So signal ideas is you have to submit a question, has to be approved, and that's what moves you to the gold status. Platinum is 5 approved ideas. So I'm going to dig into this more, and I'll probably do a video in the near future on this, but I want to let you guys know, if you're running NodePay, definitely jump to the Discord, do a little research, and then make sure that you're up to speed, because I just started doing this a couple days ago, and I'm like, what am I doing? So my bad, guys. I am sorry. I kind of dropped the ball on NodePay there.
How many node coins do you have? 10,000,
I've-
30,000, 100,000?
I've got about 1,100, just enough to get into the bronze status. I bought them,
Damn.
and you don't have to stake them. You only have to hold them in your wallet. That's it. So that's good. I don't like the staking thing, as you guys know.
Yeah, staking is kind of a pain. Because often when people have staking programs, it's like you have to lock it for at least 30 days, or you can't unlock it for at least 30 days, and you're just like, man, what if I need those funds like immediately? Then what? I'm just like stuck being like, oh yeah, let me withdraw and wait 30 days and see
Right.
where we are. Because maybe there's
Yeah.
also a pump and you're like, okay, I want to take a little advantage of that, sell maybe 10% of my bag, but everything is locked up. And you're just like, well, there goes that opportunity, I guess.
Exactly. And Smith says, having to answer the questions or any other daily action is a stake in the heart of passive income. Name a brick and mortar profitable business does it. Exactly. It kind of takes away from the passive income and it moves it to an active income where you're actually working for it. Now, sometimes those can be great. We just saw with Rainmaker that turned out not to be so great. In fact, it turned out very, very depressing. A lot of people put in a lot of time, myself included, expecting a big payday, and it didn't happen. We ended up with a tiny fraction of what we expected. And I got to tell you guys, I have been working on the Rainmaker video this week, but I can work on it for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then the depression of that kicks in. I'm like, so save me a little time.
We have a sound for Rainmaker.
Ooh, I like it. Yes, we have new sounds. Alpha's been playing with the sounds, so yeah, whatever it is, I totally blame it on Alpha. But there has been some great news in the crypto space because I mean a lot of it hasn't been good this week. However, whoops, let's do that. Let's add that stage. Go back there. So the U.S. government taps Chainlink and Pyth to publish economic data on chain. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I've experienced quite a lot of trauma this week around that actually. But
Really?
yeah, it's very cool. So from what I remember, Chainlink is doing like 6 things. I can't remember what exactly each 6 of those things mean, but I know they're doing like 6 things that will be basically accessible on chain, which is like amazing. And then Perth, or as you say, Pyth, is doing like one of those things kind of as like a backup. And it's what's crazy about it is that Perth jumped like 100% in their value, while Chainlink only did like 5%. And then everyone was like, "Oh, why is Perth pumping and Chainlink is like doing nothing?" We're just like, you do realize that Chainlink has like multiple the market cap of Perth, right? You understand that Chainlink has like 10 times the market cap, so it's like it takes 10 times the amount of money to push Chainlink up as it does them. Okay, like simple math, please. So
exactly. And you know, I haven't heard anything from Pyth or Pyth or however you want to pronounce it since the airdrop. What was that? A year and a half ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It was a nice airdrop, but that's about all I heard about it.
It went like that. That's why. It
went beep.
It made a perfect triangle, you could say. And on top of that, Perth is extremely unreliable as an oracle, actually. So anyone or any project that uses Perth usually has a lot of inaccuracies in the data that they get because Perth is extremely inaccurate as a data provider. So, you know, it's like you use them and you might get proper data, or chances are you're not going to get proper data. So people are just like, they're not worth the risk. We're not going to buy their token and we're not going to use the service. Some people do use it, but most would use Chainlink because Chainlink is reliable.
Exactly.
Yeah, CK, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, CK. Man, you know, CK, I'm starting to get offended, man. First, you said you may show up just for alpha, and I'm not your favorite anymore. Remember my feelers. I got little feelers.
Listen. It's the hair. It's obviously the hair.
It is the hair.
You need these beautiful locks.
I need some. I haven't had beautiful. I don't think I ever had beautiful locks. Even when I was a kid, I had. Yeah. Anyway.
I like what Nexus says here. Chainlink isn't doing nothing. They've enacted a weekly treasury buyback these days. Like they are absolutely doing the bangers, and people are just like, "Oh yeah, no, Perth is pumping," and you're just like, pumping on what? Pumping based on nothing. Pumping based on fake news that actually. So another thing on that is that Perth released this announcement on X and whatever, and they used like the government insignias and all of these things, but it was lies. So they went back and changed it sneakily without people noticing. Oh wow, they thought people didn't notice, but everyone had already taken screenshots. You know, I'm muted.
I was muted. Yeah, yes. I just realized that. Yeah, it's just things like these are not the words you're looking for. Please move along. Same kind of game. Yeah, you didn't see nothing. It's okay. Don't look behind the curtain. You'll be fine.
Thank you, CK.
So, wow. Okay. CK is getting lower and lower on my Christmas card list. I see how this is gonna go. No, I'm kidding, CK. I gotta give you a hard time, brother. That's what we're here. We're here to have fun. Okay, so we went through that. Got one other thing. Now, I've been trying to give you guys a weekly update because I like to share what I'm doing, and that way you guys know firsthand experience what's going on. So I attended the Monstro birthday, 3 weeks ago, and at that point in time, I ended up getting myself a Pox. How do you say that, Alpha?
I say Pox because it just makes sense to me. It's like POC protocol, so Pox.
Poc. So yes, at that point in time, I went total degen, put in $109, and this is this week's earnings. So we got a $2.47 back for this week, and I'm having an auto compound back in.
So that's like about 2%. That's not too bad.
No,
that's not too bad.
Not bad at all. Exactly. But so yeah, don't dive into this. This is me being degen and sharing my experience with you. So if it looks interesting and if you want to know more about it, definitely talk to Alpha, talk to Various, jump in, talk to the Monster team about it. But I was very interested about it because obviously I can't trade. We know how that works. It doesn't work at all.
Yeah,
So I pretty much avoid this. Like, hey, if these guys can do it for me, then awesome. But I do know one guy who is a master of trader, and I want to bring him up here before I share his predictions that were posted in the Discord on 8/1. So I want to check out how he's doing, but first let's bring him on up and get this party rolling. So, Sai, how you doing, my man?
Hey,
Hey, Sai.
how's it going, guys? What's up?
Going good, brother. How about you? How's your week going?
Ah, good. Busy, but good.
That's good. We've missed you the last few weeks, so thank you for making the time, brother.
Yeah, it's
Hasn't
great
it
to
been
be
like
able
a
to-
month?
Oh, I think it's been over a month at this point. I think I've missed the last 5, and every time
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be able to get there, another something pops up. It's yeah.
It's called life. Isn't that the way it goes? And let's see. I tried where I could, but I could never replace the Cyro. Yeah, you can't replace the Cyro. There is no replacement for the Cyro. I agree, Nexus. So I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot here, buddy, because I've had people asking, it's like, well, when's the market going to go up? Why is it moving sideways? Things like that. And, if people have been paying attention, which I really, really hope you have, and I hope you're part of the Down Home Crypto Discord, Sai, you posted this in the general chat on 8/1, August 1st. And, I thought you might want to say a little bit about this to speak about what the markets are doing today.
Yeah. So, well, I believe it or not, I actually have that tab up. So let me boop 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 boop.
Boop.
Hold on. Huzzah. All right. You got that, you got my share? There we go.
There we go.
Yep. All right. So here's pretty much where we're at, right? So we already figured we'd see this level. It's curious to see whether or not this level of this support zone holds, right? If it doesn't, I'm anticipating we'll see a brief dip down to here, right? It might be a sharper dip than I anticipated for that, final move there. Looking at the global net liquidity right there, it says that the dip is still progressing, right?
Yep.
From our local high. And, but if you look, go away. If you look, if you look at the global net liquidity here, it shows us coming down to like this level, right?
Right.
Which would have been kind of like around here.
Okay.
So we did fall a little further than anticipated. A lot of people think that it's because of the initial sell-off that happened right here. There was a BTC whale who sold quite a bit of Bitcoin out for Ethereum, I believe it was. And it caused the initial price drop right in this region. Of course, we already kind of suspected that it would stop there in the first place because of the MA50, right?
Right.
If you've been utilizing that moving averages we talked about on Rags to Riches, which go check that playlist out if you haven't seen it before, right?
Absolutely.
So came down here and it failed to regain the MA 100. So the markets are feeling that it's supposed to come down to here, which is why I don't think that they will, right?
Really?
9 times out of 10, when the markets are expecting something, it tends to do the opposite, right?
Right. Exactly. Just like my kids.
Exactly. Psychology of it, because what happens is if everyone's expecting this, the smart money's going to do what? They're going to buy before that, right?
Right.
So the problem is when retail is not really in the market yet, the market's going to move with the smart money because retail doesn't really have an impact in crypto like they used to anymore. So now we're in a situation where institutional money, it's going to stop and turn kind of where they're going to be doing their buys, right? BlackRock's playing all sorts of games with it right now. They've been selling some Bitcoin to pick up master shares. I don't know if you've heard about that.
I haven't.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it because with, what was it? Yeah, I mean, with Master having an MNAV around 2 times their holdings, BlackRock would make double their money if they allow. Because think about it, Master or Microsoft MSTR, not Microsoft. Sorry, you know which one.
MicroStrategy.
MicroStrategy. Thank you.
There you
That
go.
one. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. But it's Friday. Don't expect too much of me.
Exactly.
Now strategy. They dropped the micro. I guess they
Oh,
decided to have their big dreams instead of micro
Okay.
dreams.
Okay.
They
But
grew
here's
up.
where they messed up, right?
They're not
They have
micro accumulation anymore.
too much of their company holdings and value is now wrapped up in their Bitcoin holdings, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So if BlackRock is able to leverage the fact that they have their ETF, whatever, go away, ad block. All right, that's cool. That's what I wanted to show you, anyways.
Gotcha.
If they're able to sell into that and dump some of the pricing, then strategy. Thank you. Now it's just strategy. Keeps it simple, easy for me to remember.
It's shorter.
So strategy, their share value goes down. BlackRock can scoop up a bunch for cheaper, and then turn the faucet back on, so to speak.
Right.
And then they
And that
can make
makes
double
sense.
their money.
Especially right now where everything's kind of crab walking sideways. I mean, it's a great strategy to do.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, a lot of the institutions, they're going to be looking to, let's say they misjudged, maybe they came in late, maybe they DCA'd recently at a price that's higher than now. As we get closer to the end of the year, especially the final quarter, they're going to be looking to wash trade some of that because that's not illegal yet in crypto. So they can do that, right?
Mhm. Oh, hi, Jason. You're muted, Serenity.
I'm muted.
I love it
Damn.
when you-
I
I love when you
gotta
mute
stop it.
yourself.
Hi, JC.
I
How you
think-
doing, buddy?
I think it's your inner brain being like, yeah, no, I shouldn't talk. Everything that comes out of my mouth is nonsense. So let's just mute me.
I'm unfiltered, so I probably shouldn't be allowed to be speaking in public areas. But CK had a great question. Said saturation of treasury companies. Thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I don't think we at the point where saturation is possible. Like, don't we have very few treasury companies right now? I think like Ethereum has 20, 15, something like that. It's not a lot, so kind of can't be saturated at this level. And Bitcoin basically only has strategy. I don't think we have many others that are constantly building treasuries of Bitcoin. So I don't think we could be really, saturated there either yet. At least that's how I can see it. But maybe, CK, I think, Sai, I think it would be
What do
good
you think,
if we could get some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, a lot of it is the opposite of saturated. I think a lot of it is consolidated under a very few, select companies, and that I think they might push the narrative of saturation, if that's why you're asking, if you heard about it somewhere, because it would discourage other people from trying and discourage competition to those that control the models.
That makes a lot
Exactly.
of sense.
Mhm,
I mean,
it does.
if people assume that it's saturated, then less treasury companies are going to try to join the game because it's like, oh no, it's a saturated market. Why would we get into that? No, it's not. It's not. Like, do people not realize how much Bitcoin and Ethereum is out there?
There's a whole lot more. There's a whole lot more ever since this whale just sold 24,000.
Yeah,
That's what
that
happened
is
over
a
the
lot.
weekend. If you guys missed it, sold 24,000
lot.
Bitcoin of worth what was it? $2.7 billion.
Bro, he's set for life.
Oh, he's still holding on to $17 billion worth of it. Yeah, the dude he's a whale.
He definitely is a whale. So he must have been during the early mining phases. So that's pretty damn cool. And I think Nix has mentioned something about him somewhere here. Oh yeah, Nix has said he's been holding for a long time.
Yeah.
So
He's one of the OG
for
originals.
Ether. over a decade later, he exited to get some Ethereum. So that's pretty damn insane. Like, he could have literally been there during the Ethereum pre-sale and gobbled up a bunch of Ethereum at that point, but he was like, yeah, he might have forgotten about it, actually, because if you think about it, 10 years is a damn long time. We've had a lot of times where Bitcoin was looking at like, this is the top. You could have sold at any one of those times when he sold now. So maybe he was just like, oh, I finally found this damn hard drive that I lost 10 years ago. Okay, let me just become a billionaire quickly.
Hard to say, yeah. Well, a lot of speculation about that, and we definitely dive in that, but we got other crazies to talk about tonight. But Alpha, before we switch over, Sai, is there anything in the crypto world that we didn't cover tonight you want to definitely introduce, get our eyes on?
Next has actually shared a few interesting things, and I've had quite the week about this too. So Zach XPT posted on X, Ripple holders provide nothing of value to the industry except exit liquidity for insiders, thus are not worth supporting. Likewise with Cardano, Pulse, Hedera, and etc. So I'm sure it's somewhere in there is Crow also. What was Crow now again? CRO. Anyway, I think that was crypto.com or something like that. Anyway, so that was interesting. I think that was actually a reply to someone saying like, yo, why don't you help Ripple people? And he was like, wow, you people don't listen, so like piss off.
Actually, okay, so I think it's time to put a quick put a thumbtack on that one for a sec. So Sai, anything you want to interject before we switch gears, buddy?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we're gonna bring people up, but Alpha, I want you to know that you are the reason this topic exists tonight.
Oh, what is the topic?
Yeah.
What are we talking about tonight?
Oh, for God's sake, man! Do you know
what are we talking about tonight?
Why?
We must be talking about the moon. I know it.
Yeah. Wild Angel, help us out here because Alpha's lost his mind. How you doing, dear?
Hi, Alpha. You're fired.
Whoa! Oh, she came out swinging. Ooh, fight's on.
Oh no.
No, tonight's all about those things that we think are real, but they're really not. So, read your Discords.
What's Discord? I don't think I've ever heard of that in my life.
Oh God. Well, Angel, how's your week been, dear?
Pretty good. It's been a very productive week. We are in, next week is our last week of SheFi. This week we learned about staking and liquidity, and the liquidity pairs and how different types of staking work. It was kind of cool. Next week, we are all about NFTs and AI. Ooh. And then on the 9th, we get to have a graduation party in Decentraland with our own digital DJ and hats and gowns. And we get SheFi pants in Decentraland for
that's cool.
Doing our stuff. We get our own special pants that we get for freebie. So it's kind of cool. I don't have mine yet. I'm having problems with my avatar. But it's been kind of cool. I'm really excited that I have gone through. No, we are done with staking. Next says we're not going into any of the trading stuff. I don't remember her talking about Forex market. But I'm really excited. I've made it through 7 of the 8 weeks of SheFi. Nice. I have been told that anytime we want to get back into another season to like update, because their sponsors are different every season, we can just get in. It's
really?
It's a forever thing now. It's great.
That's cool.
That is.
And then I am actually going to the next level. So SheFi has kind of given me the courage to take advantage of an opportunity and jump into a bachelor's program in business administration with a concentration in fintech.
Oh, yeah.
So there's an entire class just on cryptocurrency. There's law and ethics, and there is just kind of a general concepts class.
Wait, there's ethics in cryptocurrency? When did that happen?
I know, right? But there's law. There's the law. So I will get updated on a lot of these newer laws coming out, and I will get kind of an in-depth
Oh, yeah. As soon as Nexus got here.
in depth into the laws that are coming out and the regulations.
Nice.
So I'm really excited. I start that next month. So
awesome.
That is very
fintech and Web3, I'm in with both feet.
Perfect. I love it.
So that's a traditional Web 2 course, right? And they actually adding in crypto into it now.
It's a concentration in fintech. It's not. Okay. It is designed for fintech. The overall program is a bachelor's in business administration, and then I can specialize and take 3-4 courses specifically on fintech.
Okay, now for anybody who's watching who may not know what fintech is, can you give us a quick explanation there, Wild Angel?
Financial technology.
Which means
the crap we deal with every day in this, crypto. Help me out,
digital
guys.
Finances.
Yeah.
So anything finance, but in the digital world is what you're saying.
Yeah, the technology side of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Not
because some people may not know what fintech means. So I definitely want to try and answer these as we go through some of these big words. Now, and one person who's in
Spiral, Nexus, CK, if you guys have a better definition of fintech, please, by all means, bail me out.
Fair enough. Well, one man who knows all about digital finance is Mr. Nexus himself. How's it going, brother?
Oh, geez. Just in time. Oh, just in time to ask me the hard questions. Okay.
Wait.
Right.
Before CK said it, finish technology. That's it.
There
That's
you
all
go.
we need to
Finish technology, huh?
I swear, sir, I'm going to pour a giant bottle of Chardonnay down your gullet. That is not the definition of fintech.
That's what CK says. I don't know. CK, man, why aren't you up here, buddy? He's laughing. It's like, Chardonnay, free drinks. Hey, free drink. There you go, buddy. How's your week been, Nexus?
Crazy, insane, virtually unmanageable, but I'm still here and still swinging.
There you go. Man, I salute you for that.
Yeah, it's been tough.
Sometimes the win is just getting up and keep just staying up, especially when the world's trying to knock you down. And I know you've been through some hard times over the last few days, buddy. So thank you so much for making the time to join us tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, let me up.
Oh, he is here.
Yes.
I don't know. Should we do it?
Yeah,
You can let him know.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to define fintech.
My hands are not there, so you have to do it. That way we don't do the
Fight's on. I'm going to put him between Cyro and Nexus. Okay, let the fight begin. CK, how you doing, buddy?
Yo, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well.
Doing good, brother. How about yourself, man? You've been kind of MIA for a while. You doing okay?
Yeah, you gotta keep things low key when you're making big moves,
You know
I love it.
You know what? He's sneaky. Him and his company are sneaky. They literally just announced that they're building a layer 1. So you disappeared on us to go build a layer 1.
We real G's move in silence, like goes on. Yeah, I'll say that's it. That's it.
And I know there's a lot of things you can't talk about, CK, so no worries, buddy. You're free to say no comment anytime you want.
Yeah, we're good. But on fintech, because I want to argue with Next and Cyro right now. Okay. It's to me, it's simply financial technology, and then the application of it really depends on the principles and the morals of the applier. So it can be, used in the Blackstone ways of buying every residential house in the country, or it can be used in the DeFi ways, in the good ways. That's my opinion.
Nexus.
I was just letting that soak in. Yeah, I completely disagree with that definition. The definition of fintech is much more broad. It stems from an original sort of portmanteau of financial technology. So, in that context, fintech, as we understand it, is PayPal, is Peter Thiel, is big companies moving big money using kilobytes rather than stacks of paper.
Makes sense.
From that context, cryptocurrency is an open source evolution of financial technology. That is what it is.
Could we then say that
Yeah. I was thinking you said the
Ethereum
same thing, just with more evidence, and you explained it better than me.
Yeah. So in that sense, then wouldn't maybe Ethereum be less of the world computer and more the financial computer? Or the
Well,
financial
what
world
is the number one purpose of a computer, sir? What is the first computer? The first computer is the abacus, a physical calculator that allows you to add up numbers. From there, you develop logic and code and programming languages out of math, out of numbers. So financial technology in the crypto age is the fusion of calculation and varying ways of proof, varying means of proof. Where prior I trusted the proof of an institution, now I trust the proof of a network.
I like it.
And it's ironic to me because I was told when I was about 7, 8, 9 years old, in a long forgotten age known as the 1990s, I was told that there would be a time when I would never be allowed or frankly even need a calculator because all of the work that I do would be physical and with pencil and paper, and I simply wouldn't need a calculator for that. Now we have a spreadsheet, a glorified spreadsheet a la Bitcoin, that is the most powerful spreadsheet that we've ever created. It's so powerful that to get one full entry on the spreadsheet costs over $100,000. That is an incredible cost of entry to get a full block size entry on the Bitcoin spreadsheet. And in that universe, things are going to be a little weird. Things are going to be a little different.
A little? Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
They're a lot weird, man.
That's a statement.
You know, it's kind of interesting you mentioned that, Nexus, because you were talking about way back in the 90s. I remember the 90s, thank you. I graduated in the 90s. You know, people swore you would never need a calculator or anything like that. You know, that kind of goes to the whole topic for tonight, which is echoes of a false reality. Now, throughout history, we've always been certain of things. We were certain that the world was flat. We were certain that men could not fly. We were certain that digital money was a science fiction story. It wouldn't exist. We were certain that a college degree would guarantee you good employment and security. Yeah, not so certain anymore now, are we? And yes, Alf, I'm totally picking on you because your rant in the Down Home Crypto Discord really just started making me chuckle. And there are maxis out there. I'm not going to disagree. There are XRP maxis. There are Bitcoin maxis. There's a maxi for everything. It's like, oh my God, it's this or nothing, and you're all just dumb.
Content of maxi.
But then again, somebody who fights a maxi as passionately as you do, what happens if you're wrong? Back up 10, 12, 15 years ago, there were Bitcoin maxis then, and we all called them crazy. They're insane. This digital coin is crap. I said that. I really did, like 12 years ago.
I've said that multiple times.
Right. But now look at it. Now the entire financial system of the world is being based upon it. When did the facts change to be from mythology to factual? When did our facts become total bullshit? How does this happen? When does it happen and why?
Well, I'm going to grab this one if I may.
Do it.
Please.
So here's the thing. All futures start off as an idea, right? An envisioned idea. I mean, look at Star Trek, right? They invented the freaking cell phone with the communicators, you know, even the ones that you flip shut, you know, and then it became a badge, you know, the replicators. You know, we already can 3D print stuff like inorganic, like materials. Yeah, they 3D printed a strawberry the other day.
Really? Like a real strawberry?
Yeah.
I have not heard that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It has the closest DNA to humans. Shout out Nexus.
I mean, they also created
your
the most...
strawberry mother. Okay.
Your father's mother elderberries, or mother, or your elderberries. Yeah, that's the thing. Anywho, you know, they've created the most synthetic life ever. They did 101,000 gene edits to the E. coli virus to turn it into a delivery mechanism for medication, for targeted, you know, medication dispersal. So, like, yeah, stuff, all that kind of stuff. It all began as an idea, and it really depends on what do people latch onto, what do they gravitate towards, what ideas spread, you know, what do we pursue, right? And so if enough people latch onto an idea, I mean, the definition for, you know, hallucinations, like, it's no longer considered a hallucination if enough people have seen it, right? It has to be like over, I forget the exact number, but if it's a shared thing that enough people have seen, it's not really considered to be, you know, false.
Right.
So it's just a matter of what the things shift towards.
Right. If I could just piggyback on that, because I've learned this actually from Cyril. So everything you said was what I was gonna say, so he kind of stole what I was gonna say, but it is true. Like, every reality was someone's thought at some point for it to come to fruition, I guess you could say. So it depends what people are interested in. Like, simple example, it's kind of stupid, but the Elon flamethrower thing, because he needed to raise I forget how much capital. And that's what he came up with to raise the capital. The pre-buy, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's a flamethrower, you know? It's like a weapon you use in the game. But it's random, you know?
Right. And that makes total sense. And I mean, right now we're seeing so many changes, but yet I find it very fascinating that some people still hold to a locked-in mindset. Either something is the only thing, the maxis, or the ones that say, no, anybody who's maxi is completely an idiot. Because, man, I feel dumb for going back and making fun of the Bitcoin guys 10, 15 years ago. It's like, you guys are stupid. I want to buy a digital coin. I can't even hold my hand. Why would I pay $800 for that? That's just dumb. Yeah, that conversation haunts me to this day. I'm not going to
lie. Nexus.
I mean, I feel like at that point, didn't you have funds in bank accounts? So I don't understand how the concept wouldn't make sense.
Because I didn't understand it, didn't know about it. I read the paper, I read the news, I read the media, and it's like, digital, what is this? And I didn't have the understanding nor take the time. I just simply made an assumption based on what information that whatever I might have had at hand, but wasn't the whole story. And so, you know, oftentimes people make those assumptions about things and find out that, it's not even close to the truth 5 years down the road or 10 years, or even at the time. They're operating on limited information. Now, the question is, are we taking the time to find that information, or are we being lazy and just say, I read it in the paper, that's what I believe, and game over, we're done? What do you guys think? What are people doing?
The latter.
I think a lot of people are buying into the propaganda that is constantly put out by society, by those in control of media. People totally buy into it until they get a reason not to. the reason not to for you, Serenity, is now 10 years later, Bitcoin's 100,000, and you're kicking yourself. But that goes to show you at the time you bought into the propaganda, and now you're seeing better. But a lot of people are seeing what it is now. It's going to be 10 years in the future, and they're going to go, oh, what did I do? Or what didn't I do?
Yeah, that's more accurate. What didn't I do?
I mean, to add to that, hindsight's 2020, right? Like, of course, everyone wanted to invest or wish they did buy Bitcoin, whatever, 10 years ago, or buy Facebook stock 10 years ago, or whatever
Or
it is,
Amazon.
whatever, or Nvidia is the big one. Everyone says, "Oh, I sold Nvidia too early." Everyone says that.
Open AI 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like money stuff like that, I feel like it's hard to tell that. I don't know. I look forward to more of the technological advancements that could come, especially with AI, if we can just manage and scale the growth properly, which is very important.
Absolutely.
I got Boltong Wild Angel. Look.
What is it?
Boltong. Snapsticks. It's very much like jerky, this one.
He's on his
Oh.
turtle. So next is Cyro. You guys kind of quiet, man. I was waiting for you to jump in there.
I'm sorry, I was going back and forth with the Sonic Siren about the improvement of civilization.
Throw it out here.
What could a future look like? Because that's what I have trouble imagining. Because we live in a capitalist society. So that means all of us have pure obligations we have to pay. It could be taxes, it could be rent, it's going to be a number of things supporting our car, all of those things. But in the future, if the robots are running my car, if the robots are saving all of these costs, then I don't think the way we see ourselves living today is the way we are going to be living in the future. It's going to look differently. And the question that I'm always asking myself is, at what point do the corporations with all the money, all the property, all the resources sort of sit down and realize, you know what? We've done it. We've conquered the world. We have everything that there is to reasonably have, and then much more besides. At what point is human civilization going to continue if we just take everything? If we just own everything, then there's no competition. We control all of the companies. We control all the governments. We control all the media. A lot of people already think that we even live in that world today. I don't think so. I think we all have echo chambers and disparate beliefs and disparate opinions. But in the future, these companies are not going to be motivated by what we would call the end game of capitalism, which is to say infinite growth, infinite profit, that my company can scale to the size of the human race, and that once I'm serving every customer on earth, I have won the game of capitalism. But at that point, I've taken all of their money too. So if I have all the money and no one has any stuff or any work or anything like that, then what remains? And I don't think it's Mad Max, but I also don't think it's capitalism either.
Right.
So that's where sort of Sonic Siren and I are going back and forth. And Sonic Siren says, public proof of works. Your reputation becomes what you do. Your reputation carries weight, respect, because of what you contribute, which is to say, a form of real-life proof of work that is undeniable, that can't be taken away from you. You can't really be canceled in what we would think of as a traditional, oh, a bad news story happened and now you are canceled. It may be a ding against your reputation, but it doesn't detract from good things you've done in the past. So it's and as it should be, because people are complicated.
Well, and some people would say it does negate a lot of the good because people only focus on the bad. human nature, they tend to really sink their teeth into the bad, and they kind of dismiss the good. I mean, how many times have we seen people with good wives, most of their wife, and then something bad happens, and then they crucify him. It's like, game over. Now he's got to fry.
That's true, but it's also evolutionary. And what I mean by that is what keeps me and the family and the tribe alive in a prehistoric setting where my weapons are stone spears and a torch? Well, it's remembering the bad stuff and a smart lady with the oral history to tell me, the son, all of the bad stuff. And if we have those two things, then it doesn't matter whether I was from 1 caveman or 10 caveman stock. It's where we're keeping a unit together, and we're going to remember the bad stuff so that we don't repeat it. And in that context, we will survive. So a lot of human memory being so negative, and that, for example, we will have a very bad thing happen to us and a very good thing happen to us. But we're not programmed to remember the good thing with the perfection that we remember the bad stuff. The bad stuff is like ironed and chiseled into my spinal column so that I'll never forget it or escape it. Mm-hmm. And that's the idea. That's the evolutionary incentive for our brains to focus so much on the bad. Unfortunately, it makes us susceptible to propaganda and media corporations in the modern day. But this is where the critical thinking comes in.
Some of what you were saying in the beginning, Nexus, makes it sound like a really bad, cutthroat version of Monopoly.
Well, because it is, in a
Pretty
way.
much, yeah. Welcome to the money game.
Well, especially considering the game Monopoly was invented by a lady, and she invented it. It was called the Game of Landlords, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, which it probably
or
doesn't.
The Landlord's Game, depending on who you talk to.
Yes, and of course, Milton Bradley bought the rights to the game for pennies
at the time.
Yeah. Rebranded it and sold it as this, but the game was meant to teach that, unfettered capitalism ends in one person owning everything and everyone else unable to play the game.
Modern day feudalism.
Yep.
You think we should have learned our lessons as we were growing up, but yet we still play the game every day. Why is that?
It's what we were taught. It's what we were programmed to do by our parents and our parents' parents. And all of this is a pass down of knowledge that, to everyone in our ancestry's credit, was incredibly valuable to them at the time. And it's with that change that things get complicated.
Yup. And I mean, you're born with 14 generations of prior epigenetic data hardwired into your DNA, right? So that's why your first instinct is usually wrong. And it's your responsibility to say, no, I see what you're doing, Mr. Brain, and I appreciate you for trying to take care of me and keep me safe, but I am not in danger. They are just people trying to live their lives to the best they can, right? Until your first reaction is always wrong, right? Until you train your brain to react and think the right way. That's the things I've mentioned before regarding the default mode network, and the articles that I dropped at the Down Home Crypto Discord that literally teach you how practice methods on how to retrain that, right? Because those automatic negative thoughts, I like to call them ants, those little ants in your brain, they're there to protect you. But we don't live 14 freaking generations ago. We're not in that world, right? We're in the modern era, and evolution, it does its best to keep up, but it still works certain ways, right? So it's going to be slower than the rate of technological increase, and so there are 14 prior generations trying to protect you in an era that is no longer scarcity, right? It's post-scarcity.
Exactly. And that's one of the hardest things. We talk about technology moving so quickly, and I mean, just in the last 10 years it has accelerated so fast that, I mean, just in my lifetime, it feels like there's been 3 generations gone by as far as technological wise. It's like I went from before we ever had the internet to video games, all the way up to cell phone, and now we're talking quantum computing. What the hell is going on? How can my brain possibly assimilate and learn this stuff that
curve
quickly?
is exponential. We can't. The answer is we can't.
Right.
We weren't prepared for it. If we could go back in time, brother, and be 14 years old again, then yeah, we could catch up and be on top of what's current. But it's always going to be a catch-up game. And in the context now, post scarcity, you can break it down to its Latin root: post, after. Scarcity, what comes after scarcity? Well, the answer is actually a term that's been popularized by a sector of environmental and financial focused people. And the term is abundance, meaning abundance of food, abundance of energy, abundance of housing. Because if we can solving inequity means solving the 3 parts of Maslow's pyramid. The food, the shelter, the energy.
Oh, I think I'm disconnected there for a moment.
No, you're there, Alpha. You're good.
Yeah,
I thought somebody was going to start talking.
Alpha.
Okay.
One of the reasons I'm going back to school is, yes, I was raised in the generation of everybody has to have a college degree. Okay. I understand that's not the case anymore. I understand that. However, my brain takes in information in a very structured way. I am not that sponge that I used to be. I need very structured blobs of information. And the internet's great, but there's so much of it, and my brain doesn't make sense of it because there is so much that if I want to learn something, I need to take a class. I need to go into a structured environment because that's how my brain works.
So I'm curious about that, though. So if you're going into a structured environment, like a school, modern day school, okay, you're reading books that were printed 2, 3, 4 years ago. Given the way technology, the way everything is moving so quickly, aren't you worried that you're learning stuff that's already obsolete? I mean, stuff's like 3 years old. It's like, that's old school.
The nice thing about the program I'm in, these aren't printed textbooks.
Oh, that helps.
Everything's digital. So it can update faster than printed textbooks, because by the time they write them and print them and publish them, they are seriously out of date.
2 years.
Like I said, right. The nice thing about being on digital media for my classes is we don't have that as much. We'll put that qualifier on there, as much lag time. Yes, some things will be updated after that. However, basics of finance, basics of management, a lot of what I'm learning is the core. And that core really doesn't change. Learning theory is learning theory. I don't think they've come out with a new learning theory in a few years. Finance, bookkeeping, analyzing financial statements. That is pretty static anymore. They're not really evolving new whole processes because there is tried and true methods. And so then what I do is after I get that, then I take it to the environment that I'm going to use it in. And I tweak what I've learned to fit. But it gives me that base level that I don't have, that my brain needs focus.
So it's kind of like, make sure I understand this for anybody out there. So it's kind of like you're learning to walk and talk and read and write and move around before you go out and decide, hey, I want to try out for this sport, or I want to go learn this job or this skill set. You have to have all these fundamental things, and that's what you're learning in college, not the actual cutting edge what's going on in fintech today.
Right.
Okay.
That's
some
true
of
of
it will
most disciplines.
right, it is. It gives you a solid foundation to jump from.
Hence why
So
the
basic understanding.
educational system makes people feel that postgraduate education is no longer a like, oh, that's optional. I can do that if I'm really passionate. No, if you're really truly passionate, then it's not optional. You have to go for the doctoral or the postgraduate education because that's where you learn the nitty gritties.
Mm.
And the real world application.
Yes.
So I'm going to mix things up here because I know somebody who is actually writing papers at like doctorate level, but to the best of my knowledge, does not actually have a doctorate. And I think he happens to be in this room with us.
Cyril?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Had to put you on the spot, brother.
In a way, that makes two of us. I edit them. I've never published them, but I've definitely edited one or two.
So that brings about the question is, can you still have the knowledge, do the work of a doctorate level without having the doctorate degree? I mean, is it really necessary?
Absolutely. Because what is the piece of paper, right? The piece of paper is saying that I went through the educational course to learn how to do this and had my knowledge verified by the people who operate this particular educational institution. Right? The value of that to future employers depends entirely upon the reputation of the school and how well the students they produce perform in the workplace. Okay, it is your certificate of authenticity from your breeder. Okay, at the end of the day, that's what the piece of paper is.
Also,
gotcha. Okay.
A lot of them, like MIT and so on, if you produce really good academic content, they will give you an honorary doctorate, an honorary professorship. Right. So, and people like that haven't gone through the educational system. I think a lot of people like Einstein, they didn't finish and get the doctorate. They wrote papers, they did things, and they were like, oh, you know what? You have contributed this much to the world of academics. Here you go. Here's your professorship. Here's your doctorate, whatever. They gave it to them. On a silver platter. It was like, y'all have produced better than what any of we could have done, so here you go. So they didn't necessarily need to finish anything, though.
Which is exactly why the public proof of works portfolio registered to each person upon birth tied to biometrics, right? Like that's the kind of stuff that you ensure. And it's what you can utilize as a future version of, status, if you will. And it's no longer, oh, this person's famous because their father defended someone in an important criminal case, and now they sell lipstick and beauty products to people. It's not that anymore, right? It's, oh, this person contributed massive advancements that allowed us to refine our solar energy output by an additional 25%, which produced an overage abundance of GDP, which improved the lifestyle of all of our citizens by an additional 4.8%, right? Like, that's the kind of person you give accolades to. And that is what a post-scarcity abundance society, that's how it operates, right? It's tokenized GDP overage, what it takes to operate the government, basically the management system. And obviously that all needs to be thrown out and redone from the ground up because it's garbage and full of corruption, right? It's not built for the modern era. It served a time in the past, but not the modern era.
And that's why when you look at the crypto project behavior, a lot of us in the business just laugh because they're reproducing the old joke bad systems on new hardware, new rails, but entirely transparently and in front of everyone else, which from my perspective doesn't just show how bad the scamming is. It's bad, obviously. But it was just as bad in traditional finance and traditional money. A Wall Street Journal report this week indicates that there are tens of billions of laundered dollars that are moved through traditional financial rails. And if I put just what the criminal tether stuff is used for up against that, it's a blip. It's like a drop in the ocean. It's barely there.
Yep. You know, that reminds you, it's like we see a lot of people always say, oh yeah, no, Monero and what's that, and the other privacy tech thing, Tornado Cash is for money laundering. It's to make money laundering possible, and it's the only thing that money launderers use. No, it's not. No, it's not. Most money laundering happens through the traditional banking system, and yet it's like, what? Yeah, you know, like people need to.
Yeah, it's just fast tracking what they've already been doing for decades. Like, okay, just make it a little bit easier.
It might even be more efficient going through the traditional banking system. I mean, it's not that difficult to set up a fake company and send all your money through this OnlyFans shop that sells fans that doesn't actually have any stock ever and is closed 9 days out of the week, you know.
and the fans that you sell are 100 iPhones in your garage.
Mm-hmm. It's about right.
Yeah.
And you know, it's wow. I just drew a blank. Sorry. Brick wall. Keep going. I hate it when I do that.
It happens.
I fell off the train.
It definitely happens. It's a It's a design for the future. Enough work towards that design.
They need to
Exactly.
share the design to get people on board with it. They need to mass share.
We're
Design.
working on it. Jeez.
Well, work a little faster,
Okay.
and then we'll get there faster.
Look, do you have any idea how long it takes for me to write down all the documentation for everything I have spent 13 years crafting and designing?
And then just as much time for me to edit and produce it, distill it down so that you can read it and you understand it easily.
So that normal people can understand it. Yeah.
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 Who puts in the crayon
Yeah.
version that I get to understand?
For
I'm-
you,
I'm
you have
100% in. We're going to do this.
For you have LLMs. Don't worry.
Cyril
put
will
in the
write it.
LLM file and
Nexus-
explain it to me like a 5-year-old.
Nexus
I will
will edit
edit.
it down for most people, and then I'll put it in the crayon version for you.
Thank you. As long as I got something I can cover.
Serenity, you can do the comic book version.
But
Yeah.
here's what I want y'all to understand. Like, I'm actively rolling things out. Like, infrastructure is being built, it is being
Yes.
distributed. Another company is currently in fundraising right now to increase the distribution of the base infrastructure necessary
Woo!
to build this kind of future. Like, I'm working on it. It is a 30-year
Cyril
plan.
plan and shit, sign me up.
Once it's set in motion, it does wind up overtaking capitalism while utilizing capitalism's language. And it replaces everything automatically. It's just a matter of tipping the couple of dominoes, and I'm working towards it. Just keep your eyes peeled for the grove.
Absolutely. And so it's a great segue at that point in time, because I know a lot of us are waiting for that because we're lost. We're confused. We're not sure what to do. And the world's getting crazier and crazier every day. I mean, every time we turn around, another store's closing down, another person's losing their job. And it's not a good state of mind right now in the world. And so one of the biggest things to keep in mind is that you're not alone in this world when that happens. In fact, there's one, there we go. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. One corporation that is trying to actually let you know that you're not alone. And they do that by spreading little ducks all around the world. And so if you're one of those people that actually gives a duck, then definitely get yourself some ducks, go out and spread some joy into the world and join Project Duck Depression. Because this is one thing that I firmly believe in, because I've seen it happen. I've put little yellow ducks down. I've seen somebody come by that's having a bad day, picks up a duck, and they just start smiling. I've talked to people in airports about it all over the place, and it does make a difference. So if you feel like you're fighting depression, you need some help, then definitely call someone, talk to somebody. But if you're in a good place, but you're trying to help somebody who is in depression, hey, the simplest way is just randomly put some ducks out there, and I guarantee the universe will find the people that need them, and they will collect them, and it's going to make somebody smile. So do your part, sign up for Project Duck Depression, and let's help fight the depression the best we can. Just trying to paste a link there at the same time.
Absolutely.
So I never heard. I'm going to put you on the spot again. So I got a little heart, but what did you think of my shirt?
Oh yeah, I thought it was cute. I liked it. I thought it was just enough of a little bad edge to it, you know. So I thought I like it a lot.
I thought about sharing it, and I figured you'd talk to Rose about it.
Not yet. It's been a bit of a busy day, and lots of activities. And she was working with a client today, and I was with the kiddo today, and so ships in the passing in the twilight, as they say.
We know. We get it.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious.
I didn't answer my phone, and so he made me dinner, and I call him back, and he's like, "Oh, I made you dinner." He says, "I hope it's what you wanted." So I was like, "Aw, it's cool."
I tried to. So I'm kind of curious then, right now with the uncertainty, what's going on? In fact, I just watched an interview with Kathy Woods recently where they're literally investing huge chunks of money, and their focus is with Tesla and the auto taxis to evolve into the home robots. They think that's where everything is in the next 5-10 years is where it's going to go to. Is that something you guys also believe, or do you think that all the old technology is just going to go by the wayside and it's going to be self-driving cars and home robots, and that's like 98% of the GDP and all that? Or what are you guys feeling that is going to go away, that what we think now isn't actually true?
I think our idea of what a post-scarcity society looks like, you might be surprised to find how different it actually looks, right? When people realize the things that matter because of how they were raised and educated, life looks a lot different.
Very different. Very, very different. What the biggest concept for me, of course, is homelessness. What is homelessness? What do you guys think homelessness is? What causes it? What solves it? We could debate it forever. The one thing no one deny is that homelessness fundamentally is a lack of a clean, safe roof, a lock on the door, and water in a faucet. That's how I define homelessness.
Okay.
And solving that is actually very cheap. We have the space. And obviously some folk, they're going to want to be kind of vagrants and ramble and travel and live a very sort of transient life. But that's a choice. If that's a choice some people make, that's not the same thing as homelessness. Homelessness is, I would hold down a job, hold down an income, hold down the roof if I had the means. But a lot of these folks do not have the means, and a lot of argument gets happening as to whether it's mental illness or drug addiction. Both of those are often contributors, but they're not lone contributors. There's too many factors. I know too many fully functional drug addicts who would keep a roof over their head if there wasn't a drug war and they could get a clean dose and go to work.
Right.
One of the things we do at our office in October every year, we take the entire month and we fundraise for United Way. And just went to a training, and they have like 4 main focus areas: youth, and that can, in our area, I don't know about others, but in our areas, they have like 2,000 schools in the state or in their area, and they send backpacks home with the kids on Fridays with groceries. shelf-stable
Cheers to
groceries
your whole office.
to make sure
Whoa.
those kids have food over the weekends. They do, basically United Way is like a clearinghouse for us. And they do the main fundraising. And I think it's all over the United States. But where you donate, the money stays in your area. They have housing programs that they give grants to. There's a program here called Catch. It is a program for people that are either homeless in shelters, mostly families, or are facing the risk of homelessness. And they work with them, they help them pay their rent and teach them to do it on their own while they're supporting them to build them up. It's not a hand out, it is a hand up. They do home repairs for elderly. Like if mom needed a ramp, Serenity, there are programs out there to help build that ramp so she can still be functional in her own home and age with dignity. And it's things like that. And we're getting ready to do this fundraiser. But you know what? The problem is I can't get people to participate.
Why is that?
I do a 1% salary donation every year to United Way. So 1% of my salary goes to United Way. I don't miss it. I don't see it. I don't miss it. And it goes to a good cause. But I have people that I can't even get to do a $2 payroll donation every paycheck. I don't know if they think it is people are abusing it and they're just choosing not to try to make themselves better.
That's a
Or
good
if this is
question.
it's
Yeah,
a really good question.
A survey
program
might
has-
answer that.
Oh, that might be Microsoft
'Cause they-
Forms.
Because then you
Ooh.
can have
Yes, you
a
can.
direct reason, have a correlation, and you'll be able to answer those questions basically. So it's like a survey that says, why not? And then you'll be
Right.
like, because I don't know where the money's going, if there's any corruption involved, and where's the proof, or something like that. It would be
Right.
like, okay, now we know people are scared because there's no proofs really. So we show them
Right.
proof to make a difference.
And
Be like, this is where your
sociology
mind is
That's
going.
a good idea.
It's all about how you scale it and how you frame the questions. So if you
Right.
have
I
a
mean-
diligent researcher setting up the questions, right, and then setting up the scale so that the scale itself of what you're measuring isn't going to bias itself in the asking of
Right.
the question. You don't want to lead them to an answer. Like,
Right. Oh,
yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, because otherwise it
Um,
pollutes what you're trying to discover. It pollutes answering the question. But that's how you set it up. And a survey, if you depending on the sample size, right,
Right.
and the information and the feedback
About
they give you.
80 people in our office. So I just want to know how to get my office to participate. Anything related to food is great. We have a chili food feed, we have a bake sale, stuff like that. I raise money. We do a silent auction. I raise money. It's just right now all the donations for a silent auction are in office.
Okay.
I can't get approval to go outside of the office and get corporate donations for these,
Gotcha.
which would probably bring in bigger stuff, but having a little bit of
Naturally.
issues there. But Cyril, I really love your down in through the chat. I've been kind of reading that as we go. People who wanted to help didn't have to worry about our own housing costs. I got to tell you, the problem is they donate their time or their effort. I can't get my leadership involved either.
I know one guy
I can't even.
donate.
So,
Good.
Go ahead, Serenity. I was on a thing trying to, just, hey, this is out there. If it's in your area, they're really drive in for donations, and it helps people in your area.
So what I was going to ask is, for someone like myself who's an electrician, I have electricity, can I donate my time? If I say, hey, I'm not affiliated with anybody, but I would love to give 5-10 hours of electrical work time to this charity. Is that possible? Is there a way to go about that? I don't know.
I can check with my contact. I bet you they can put us in contact with the programs that use that service, because
Almost
they all
certainly.
have to fill out like grant applications to get funded. So they know. Yeah, Habitat for Humanity is what it's called here. Can always use that help. I know there's several veterans programs that would use that help. So I can put you in contact. I guarantee it.
I feel like that's also another thing. People might not realize that they can maybe give some of their time, because I'm sure people might think, okay, yeah, money, I might need that later, like Sai mentioned in the comments, like the tribal mentality that I might need this later, so I can't just give it up right now, because you never know, I might need it 3 weeks into the month and that $2 will come in clutch, kind of mentality. But someone might think, okay, I can give maybe 5 hours of my time on one Saturday or 2 Saturdays every month, and be like, because maybe that's my days off and I don't always have something to do, so you know what, I'll go do something nice or to change. That's also a very, very possible thing there.
I actually signed me and Serenity and one of our girls up for a charity event. We're gonna go build kids' beds.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me
the
about this.
idea
Okay.
is that no child has to sleep on the floor.
That is cool. That
And
is really
so we're going to go spend a Saturday morning building kids' beds.
Serenity.
Yeah.
Record it. Put it on your YouTube channel.
I can do. I'll definitely get some videos of that.
It's a national program.
So can we put a duck with every bed?
Do it.
Maybe.
I'm going to super glue a duck to the top of every bed, so every child gets a duck.
Yes.
And CK, I don't think for me, there's not a moral difference between charity or church. I think they may serve different populations, because a lot of churches are specific to their congregations, or in more of a faith-based thing versus I'm not a big churchgoer, Nexus. I'm not a churchy person. And so in the past we've used church-based food banks because it was there, and it was available. Some of these other charities, if they're 501c3, you can absolutely write them off on your taxes. But
I didn't mean to put you on a difficult question. That was not the intention.
No,
hey, we like difficult questions, buddy. It's a good question though.
No, what I really meant is I see like my grandma. She goes to church every Sunday. She has her whole life, whatever. Roman Catholic Church, that's as popular here in New York City, right?
Okay.
We're all Irish and Italian, right? And she gives probably, I don't know, could be like $10 to $20 a week, right, to the church. And she also volunteers and donates her time. This thing called the St. Anthony's group, and they I don't know, they do Thanksgiving stuff, whatever. Charity stuff, all that stuff. All right, so she's doing that, but then she's also doesn't have money to pay for her own things, but she's convinced that it's better to give to church and not be able to afford a meal than, you know what I mean? That's the way her mind works. She's old school, Italian Catholic that way. That's where I think it gets a little weird.
And honestly, I can say from firsthand knowledge, I'm baptized Mormon. I'm not going to get in religion here, but long story short, the Mormons believe you give, 10 or 15% of your wages.
Yes, it's called a tithe.
Yeah,
Thank you.
tithes.
But even through life, I have constantly given more than what I could afford. If there was a good charity, if there was a raffle for a good cause, I would spend money I didn't have, and I didn't know how I was going to pay the rent or do this or do. But at the time, you know what? It really doesn't matter because I figured that it's going to somebody who probably needs it more than I do. And so I've personally found in my life that the more I give, the more I get. Whether that's just gratitude, that's just the universe giving me good luck, keeping me from doing what I'm doing 107 on the freeway to not get arrested. Thank you very much. Did it, done it. We will talk about it. But at the same time, I can't fault anybody for being overly generous, but I can fault people for being blindly generous. Because one thing that we see time and time again is there are vultures out there. There are scammers. There are people who are just going to try to suck you dry. And I've seen people on street corners with begging for money with an empty gas can, like, I just need $5 to get gas. And they've been out there all day. And then you see them walk around the corner, climb in a BMW and drive off and go home. It's like, are you serious? And so,
you see generous. That like 2 or 3 times. It's enough to make you cynical.
And that's why I do things like United Way, a structured charity, because I know where their money goes.
For most of them, we think we do, but we've seen bad times though with different charities. So we got to be careful.
I'm always
You're always cynical.
Type, and then I'm basically always cynical because the environment I've grown up in kind of teaches you that person begging is likely a drug addict. He's going to take everything that you just gave him, go sell it, or use the money to go buy him drugs. Like he's just going to walk around the corner, buy him a drugs, get his eat and whatever. Jade again is more of the, I will just give if I have. And sometimes I'm just like, damn, I can't understand that because I don't know. Have we not grown up in the same area?
No, I mean, to Alex's point, I mean, let's like New York City, like you can buy a fresh whatever McDonald's $1, I don't know, whatever the menu special, a full meal, whatever it's called, right? Big Mac, that's what it is.
Big Mac.
You can walk over to a homeless person, hand them the bag, and they'll get mad at you. They'll be like, "You think I need food from you? I want money. I don't want food." And then it's like, all right, like, and so like I stopped and learned a long time ago not to give them any food because they don't want food. Most people in New York City, they want cash to do with whatever they want to do. I know New York City is very different. Most of the homeless in New York City are very well taken care of. I'm not saying all of them, but they all have like hotels and food and their shops and stuff, or whatever, the soup kitchens. So they're pretty well taken care of in that aspect. But one other weird, funny, quick thing I'll say is I've seen people, like homeless people, get arrested on purpose so they can sleep in jail because it's better than sleeping on the streets.
Hot in a cot.
Which is
hot in a cot. Hot in a cot, baby.
And it's sad. Our society has to do that. I mean, it's it's horrible. It comes to that, and I agree, CK, that giving out money is definitely sketchy, and that's why personally I like to give time. I like to give effort. I like to assist. Just like we taught in a Rags to Riches series. I know Cy and I both preached on that pretty heavily. Is you don't loan money, you loan the time. You teach the people, you advise them, you help them, coach them, and in the end, what I look at as far as what is truly more valuable, money or time? Well, money, they print new money every day. It's kind of frivolous. Time, however, that's a very finite amount. So if you're giving your time, you're giving the most valuable asset that exists on this planet. So to me personally, I think that's the most valuable thing you could possibly do, in my opinion.
It's funny how jail could have been rehabilitation centers, yet they don't always rehabilitate anymore. I know there's a lot of countries where jails are actual rehabilitation centers. You go in, you come out a person that has a job, you know how to go into society and use your money properly, you have an education. But then a lot of places like South Africa, they don't treat this as a rehabilitation center. It's a jail. You just go in, you come out worse. And I'm sure that's a common theme in the USA also, because from what I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
But like it's ridiculous because they're not jails as in a place to keep people forever and leave all the horrible people. It's a place where people can go, they can be rehabilitated and go out back into the world with a skill, with something to do. Now, something I won't say often, but someone that's very involved in my life, her father was in jail, but was for a minor thing. He took the fall for a friend. So, he took that on himself. He was like, I'm going to take it for you. And then he went into jail. He learned a skill. He learned to be an electrician there. So now he's a qualified electrician when he came out. He's turned his life around because of that. He's also let go of a few friends that they kind of get into trouble. But he learned, he went in and he came out someone that can go into the working world, that's not a common thing anymore, which is crazy. Like, why are people not being upskilled? Why are they not being taught?
That's epically cool that he had that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And some places, I know a lot of times here in the States, people can utilize resources while they're in jail to get degrees and learn some skills. However, a lot of them are choosing not to. They just choose not to.
Yeah, and when I was working in Nashville, it's a big manufacturing plant for modular homes or buildings. We had several people come from work release, and they would get dropped off from the prison in the morning, and they'd be picked up in the evening. And these guys were getting their electrical apprenticeship cards, their plumber apprenticeship cards, and they were putting their hours working towards a future career. There were very, very few, though.
Mm. Oh, and yes, he can drop it. Countries like Finland and Norway have implemented rehabilitation instead of incarceration as their primary approach to justice. Finland's open prisons allow inmates to leave for schooling or work,
as opposed to
locking
the
them
U.S.
up
model,
with
emphasizes punishment and
incapacitation.
That was me. Sorry.
These countries have seen lower rates of violence and recidivism, indicating the thickness. Thank you. English is not English tonight. Indicating the thicknesses of the rehabilitation-focused approach.
Welcome to my world, son.
Some substance abuse or anger management. Norway's short spells and open prisons with more freedoms and responsibilities contrast with the US anyway.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
I mean the prison system, unfortunately I know a lot of people in it. In America, it only gets worse for them. I've never seen someone turn their life around after going to prison, because then you have to join a gang to survive or whatever it is. And you become friends with criminals. I've never seen one of my buddies from high school turn their life around from that. It just got worse. So I don't think.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, I just don't think it's great for, if the purpose is actual rehab. Obviously, the system is not set up that way.
Well, no, they make profit off it. Why would
they? It's also,
there you go, Sai.
If you think about it, some people might just go into prison for maybe a sort of misdemeanor type thing, and then they get stuck in that system of the incarceration because they just went in for something simple, a slap on the wrist kind of thing. They should have just been there for a year or two, but when they come out, because of the culture in the prisons, now they get into worse things. Now, instead of those misdemeanors they were doing before, maybe they just shoplifted once. Now they're going to do armed robbery, or they're going to go into the drug trade because, like you said, they had to join gangs. It's ridiculous. It's so damn ridiculous.
It really is. And Cyril, I totally agree. You put the crisis out first and then teach them how to avoid the situation in the future.
Exactly. Because it's very easy to fall into the, help them with the wisdom. But if you're really going to help someone and they're in immediate crisis, help, right? Otherwise, what are you doing? You're pontificating and not actually providing any value, because someone who is in distress is not going to actually remember the things that you were telling them, right?
They're not receptive.
So what are you doing?
Exactly. And yeah, that's a good point. So many people want to think that, well, I can just preach to him, I can lecture to him. It's like I can do counseling. And first, you got to get this person out of an abusive house or abusive relationship, or get them clean from their addiction, or separate them from the people, places, things that are unhealthy for them, that is toxic, causing the situation. Fix that first. Then let's talk about how to avoid toxic situations, how to stand on your own 2 feet, how to have faith in yourself. But man, when you're in the heat of battle and you're on fire, you got to put it out first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Alpha, I sent you a private message, by the way.
Nexus,
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, it's so true of the society mentality.
I jest, but this is how it feels.
Because that's
Absolutely.
what they do. Okay, so this guy just made like over $12 million selling shower heads, right? And you want to know how he freaking did it? He made a website offering free at-home water kit testing, and he would mail them this this at-home water test kit that was cheap, right? So he spent a little bit of money, sure. But then what happened is all the people, when, of course, they saw the results of the water test and analysis and all of that, then they were like, huh. And the guy was selling essentially filtered shower heads, right? Which to me sounds great in theory, right? But long-term use, how many times am I going to be swapping out that filter, right? But essentially, it sold the scare. So the arsonist set the fire and then profits from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's brilliant, because like recently news articles came out about the water, the chemicals in the shower water, whatever.
Most people filter their kitchen, their kitchen sink, their refrigerator. But a lot of people don't think about the chemicals coming out of the main water line into their showers. And some of those chemicals are absorbed through the skin. How many of us get a mouthful, rinse our mouths out in the shower? I mean, that's putting chemicals in. I know you do, Serenity.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of interesting, because here in South Africa, all our shower heads have a filter in it. So, like, you're not going to find one that doesn't have a filter. So it's like, it's interesting that that's not a common thing in the US. Probably. Honestly, probably. Probably.
Actually, no, after the filter, it's probably pretty good water. A lot better than ours. Yep, exactly. Tinfoil hat on. Here we go.
Yep.
We always end up with a tinfoil hat moment. I love it. I love it.
They're putting
I know, I do that. Serenity.
Frogs gay.
Cyril, I do that. I put hot water in the pot and then boil it.
So y'all realize how much heavy metals leach into your hot water heater, right? So you're going to cook your food like your pasta, which absorbs all of that crap. So like, yeah, you should be filling your pots with cold water.
Cold water.
Wait.
Wow.
Yeah, I never
Like
thought about
hot water
that.
from like the geyser, or like hot water from like boiling a kettle? Because I always just boil a kettle and then use that. Because it's like, it's already boiled water. I might as well now go ahead and do that. I rinse a lot of things with hot water all the time. Also, I don't like rinsing with cold water, because I'm just like, might as well use hot water to rinse.
Doesn't it matter what it's made out of, Cyril? The metal? Like, isn't there like a clean metal? Like the pans?
I think there's a couple, but yeah, you got to watch out for a lot of the ones that leach. It's the same thing with the pastas that you buy, right? A lot of us don't realize it, but here in America, a lot of the pasta companies use crappy tin dyes to extrude the pasta through.
Yeah.
And if you look for it, like in your, not necessarily your Walmart, but maybe like your local Giant or your Whole Foods store, if you look for it, you can find what they call bronze dye pasta, right? And they'll actually advertise on the front of the package that it's made with a bronze dye. right? Because it doesn't wind up flaking off like the tin does into the pasta. And so the pasta that's tin dye, which is the bulk of what most of us are buying, I'm sure, winds up having these little metal deposits in it that wind up just stuck around in your body. And it's these little bits of tin that break off the dyes over time.
So I'm going to start setting off metal detectors. Great. I'm in trouble. It's crazy, crazy. So, guys, we are way past time, and I know some of you have things to do, so I do apologize. But hey, we're just having fun, and I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. But one of the biggest questions tonight is, what do we believe is a fact today that maybe we shouldn't, because maybe tomorrow it won't be. So, are we looking forward? Are we looking ahead? Are we questioning what people are saying? This is an absolute fact. Are you questioning, or are you just believing it? So that's what I really wanted to inspire today. But I want to let you guys take us out of here for the night and give us some words of wisdom. What should we be looking for? And what is the falsity that you are questioning today that maybe you didn't yesterday?
I'll jump right on if I can.
Yeah, go for it, whoever.
When it comes to species and humanity and everything, who's to say that we aren't the aliens? So like, maybe there are a lot of other species around, and who knows? The world is your oyster.
Well said. I like it.
Oh, my turn. I think one of the big fallacies right now is that there is an abundance. In some ways there is, but there's an abundance for this top 5-10%. There is scarcity at the bottom. And so building that equality, shifting that abundance down to the bottom is going to be one of those things that needs to happen. And that is definitely a fallacy that we are in a state of abundance. Yeah, if you're in the top 5-10%, if you own 5 homes and 20 cars and have $100,000 in the bank, sure. But when you are living in a shelter, you maybe have $5 to your name and you've got kids, you're not in that situation because you choose to be. It's a lack of maybe education, a lack of job opportunities. Maybe it's a lack of childcare so that you can go to work. Yes, there are some people that choose that. I totally will admit that. But the majority of them don't. And so helping out wherever you can, whether that's giving time, giving money, not necessarily to the person standing on the street corner, but to a well-known organization that helps in any way. Great. A Project Duck Depression. Even leaving little ducks around, will make people smile. I do it frequently. I duck bomb our Capitol building. I'm probably sure I made a few legislators.
You're going to jail.
And legislators smile when they find the ducks. Go, what the hell? And then they smile. And those guys got some serious shit on their plates. So, yeah. I did it when the police officer candidates were rehearsing graduation. I was walking by dropping ducks, and they're looking at me, and then another guy'd smile, another one look at me, and then smile. It was great. But yeah, so I'll get off my soapbox, help somebody, touch some grass, make somebody's day, make them smile, because you never know what they're going through. Your turn.
I actually got something. I want to share first. When I put it up here, let's put it up here. So I made this with Google Gemini earlier. It's very cute. I didn't know readability is though. That's the only problem, I guess.
Walk us through it.
I'll read it out. It says on the left side, starting with the blue person. You may stop, PP. You're no good at this. It's like the mini person, the dark person saying that there, and then the one on the right says, "It's okay, Pippi. You make mistakes. People make mistakes." And you say, maybe I should just stop. And then we all make mistakes. Errors are chances to learn. You are human, and that's okay. I messed up again, and then again, and again. I messed up, and I can try again. Self-love starts with being able to forgive yourself, is like the ending message there at the bottom. Because, this was actually inspired from something that I saw earlier from Gary Vee, actually. I don't know how to put me on the Jumbotron. We was in an interview, and someone was talking to him, and they were like, okay, but like, you've made mistakes. Obviously, you've done things that maybe you'll think back on and you'll be like, yeah, maybe I could have done something better at that time. And he said, most people would have a cynical kind of look on things and be hypercritical of themselves, but I don't do that. I don't have a critical self. I have a really, how shall I say, objective self. I have someone that looks at things and is like, yeah, you messed up there, but how can you improve? How can you avoid that mistake? So I'm not critical. I'm just very realistic about it. I think of the things that I've done. I consider what I did wrong, how I can improve from there, and that's it. Because at the end of the day, you have to allow yourself to be able to make mistakes. When you make a mistake, you have to forgive yourself. You have to take that chance to be like, okay, now I can improve. I know what I did wrong. I know where I can improve, and I'm going to do it better next time. Maybe the next time you make a different mistake, you just go ahead. The next time after that, you do better. You have to give yourself, we often forgive other people, but you need to be able to forgive yourself more. Like, even if you make a million mistakes, so what? You will get it right the next time. Maybe not, but there's going to be a next time. So give yourself that chance. You should give yourself that forgiveness. Once you can forgive yourself wholeheartedly, you'll be able to do it even better for everyone else, because then you don't have a weight on your shoulder of, oh, I could mess this up. Oh, I did this wrong. Oh, I'm such a loser. I'm such a waste. I should never have gotten into this. I should never have tried this. I'm never going to succeed. Once those thoughts are cleared, because you are giving yourself that opportunity to grow, then everything just becomes a little more brighter. Because now you can look at other people and be like, okay, cool. You might have messed up at that point, but what are you going to do to improve from here? You're going to have that sort of open-mindedness, that sort of openness to see other people and yourself improve. And that's my takeaway for this week.
I like it.
Nexus. Unmute.
I'm sorry, I was talking to the musicians who are also like digital intelligences in the chat. I apologize. All right. You want some inspiring words for this week? I'll give you some inspiring words. Opportunity knocks in the funniest places. For me, it was it was 5 years ago when I showed up in a Discord chat that had to do with crypto. Somebody asked me to play guitar. I played some guitar, and then everybody decided they wanted me to have crypto that was in their Discord wallets. It was a very surreal experience. I didn't go in there intending to busk like, oh, here's my guitar case. Y'all throw some Bitcoin in it. It wasn't supposed to be like that. But that was what happened. And that experience was miraculous and transformative for me and changed the way I saw money, the internet, everything, really. And that was opportunity knocking. And I answered in the most creative way that I could. And this will happen to all of you listeners.
Indeed.
Never let it slip.
Love it.
Take that.
I love that. I love that a lot. So I kind of wanted to loop a little bit back to something earlier, and I just kind of wanted to remind everyone, because I had this conversation with my kiddo not too long ago, and then I wound up typing it out for a friend because it was relevant, right? And I said, what we feel internally about ourselves is a reflection of the silent judgment we pass on others. You hold a powerful flashlight in your hands, right? What you shine out is what you'll shine in. And I told my daughter because they'd expressed some insecurities, right? And I said the insecurities you struggle with are there because you judge other people in your mind. So your mind naturally worries that they are thinking the same things about you. Your brain does not know the difference, right? And that's kind of this conversation that preceded, what we wound up rolling into earlier in the discussion about your brain being hardwired for the negative, right? To look for it, to think for it, to perceive it. It'll automatically think things to prevent you from forming close relationships and connections with other people, because you were hurt by those you loved in the past, or it will automatically judge others because harsh judgment was passed on you as a kid, or you'll get frustrated with people who take a little longer than you thought they would to do a task, and they're your employee because you were rushed as a kid by an adult who was annoyed with how long you were taking despite you being a brand new human, right? So, to what everyone has pretty much touched on. I love it. It seems to be the zeitgeist of the evening, to borrow a word that Nexus loves. Give yourself the grace. We're all just being a human for our first time, and learn to not be so critical of yourself. To Alpha's point, he tried doing from critical to critique, which is, nice guidance about where you went wrong. I recommend trying a little bit of curation over critique next time, right? Guide yourself through the experience. But so go into life, enjoy it, experience it. It's your first time, at least this go around.
That we remember, right?
Well, maybe you.
Well,
I think it's Serenity now. As soon as he unmutes himself.
I forgot to unmute. Sorry. So I just have one job. Click the button, and I screwed that up. See, there you go. Nobody is perfect, and what everybody's saying here is yes, forgive yourself, operate with compassion, but remember, you're not alone. Oh wow, look, I'm big and round. But the most important thing is to let you know you're not alone. I want you to go out and listen to some of the songs from Sonic Siren, because some of the messages throughout this music tell stories, and it'll let you know that others have gone through these journeys. They've fought these battles. You're not alone in this journey. So I hope to see you all next Friday, because we're here every week to make sure you got a place to go on Friday night. So have a great weekend. Love you all. I'll catch you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I've walked through the fire, chased every shadow from my